Throughout the world, there's a growing realization that the way to prosperity for all nations is rejecting protectionist legislation and promoting fair and free competition. Now, there are sound historical reasons for this. For those of us who lived through the Great Depression, the memory of the suffering it caused is deep and searing. And today, many economic analysts and historians argue that high tariff legislation passed back in that period, called the Smoot-Hawley Tariff, greatly deepened the Depression and prevented economic recovery. You see, at first, when someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time. What eventually occurs is, first, homegrown industries start relying on government protection in the form of high tariffs. They stop competing and stop making the innovative management and technological changes they need to succeed in world markets. And then, while all this is going on, something even worse occurs. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. The result is more and more tariffs, higher and higher trade barriers, and less competition. So soon, because of the prices made artificially high by tariffs that subsidize inefficiency and poor management, people stop buying. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs. The memory of all this occurring back in the 30s made me determined when I came to Washington to spare the American people the protectionist legislation that destroys prosperity. Now, it hasn't always been easy. There are those in the Congress, just as there were back in the 30s, who want to go for the quick political advantage, who risk America's prosperity for the sake of a short-term appeal to some special interest group, who forget that more than 5 million American jobs are directly tied to the foreign export business, and additional millions are tied to imports. Well, I've never forgotten those jobs, and on trade issues, by and large, we've done well.
I'm never going to do anything to hurt our farmers.
Farmers across the country are starting to harvest soybeans as we speak, and right now 25% of our market is completely missing.
10 to 20% tariffs, 50 to 200% tariffs.
That is a 5-alarm fire for our industry.
I've never seen anything like this, and it's all due to the president's tariffs.
1,000%.
He's mentioned many times that he loves farmers. Right now we need to see swift action, or we're going to lose a lot of these farmers that the president loves.
I love tariffs.
He is not helping the farmer.
Donald Trump has found all of the time in the world to play golf. He can try to extort $230 million to line his pockets from the Department of Injustice. Somehow the Trump administration found $40 billion to bail out a right-wing wannabe dictator in Argentina, but can't find a dime to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits in order to make life and health care more affordable for hardworking American taxpayers. And Donald Trump is demolishing parts of the White House in real time. Why? So he can construct some gaudy ballroom where he can be celebrated as if he was a king.
But what about states' rights? The states have rights too, right?
They do? Yeah, you're right, they do.
I'm not for deporting all illegals. I'm for due process if you're not committing a crime.
So you're against what's happening right now then?
I didn't say that.
Well, the ICE is deporting people without due process who are not guilty of crimes.
I think the ones that haven't, the illegals that have not committed a crime and are law-abiding, I think they ought to be due process.
So you're against what's happening right now then?
I'm not against deporting anybody that's committed a crime.
Right, but people who have not committed a crime, which are many of the people being deported, you said you're against that, so you're against what's happening right now.
I think they ought to be vetted and screened.
And even though they're not, and they're deported, that's what's happening right now, so you are against that.
I think, again, and that's all I'm going to say, is the ones that haven't committed a crime, I think they ought to be vetted and see if they can stay.
So you don't agree with Donald Trump about that particular issue then?
That one issue.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. All right, let's see if I'm caught up here. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let's see, I do hear a little volume. Caught up here. Yep, sounds like it. Sounds like the mic's working. All right. So here we are. It's 11:17. Did I not turn my, whoops. I didn't log in there. It's 11:17 a.m. in the Pacific time zone here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, with a temperature of 76 degrees. We have a high of 83 today. Overnight low 56. Dipping down into the 50s at night. Wow. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. I did a short intro today. That's all I had time for, so pardon me. I was running a little late, so I just made a pretty short intro, and I think it did the trick. We start off with Ronnie Reagan. Even Ronald Reagan, who I've never been a fan of, never liked him, even before he was president. Never liked the guy. You know, I always thought he was a clown. And when he ran for president, I thought, this guy's a fucking clown. I voted for Jimmy Carter, I'll have you know. I liked Jimmy Carter. I still like Jimmy Carter. Just because he's dead doesn't mean I can't like him anymore, right? So, never liked the guy. But even Ronnie Reagan, or at least the people around him, were smart enough to know you can't do shit that's going to just totally tank the economy. Even Ronnie Reagan had to back off on some of his policies. He had to raise taxes. He was, of course, a Republican that ran on lower taxes and lower regulations, stripping away regulations, lowering taxes. Of course, they don't tell you he's only talking about taxes for rich people, but he lowered the taxes so low that it started tanking the economy. He had to go back and raise taxes more than once, I believe. So even even Ronnie Reagan and his administration, the people around him, they were at least not willing to go there, not willing to just, go completely down the fucking toilet. Donald Trump and this whole, this where we're at now, they don't give a fuck. I think the goal is to tank the economy. Just totally tank it, and really just bring the whole country down with it. He'll have his brown shirt ICE army that can't do Actually, it's a mile and a half, not a mile. I guess it was a mile and a half in 15 minutes, supposedly, but they're going to take over the country. I don't know. But thanks for being here, guys. I do see way early. Jolie was in here like last night. I went in and I said hello because I was up too. And we see Sandy Foltz was here. Sandy came in with a $1 super sticker. So thank you so much, Sandy. Yippee! And the goal hasn't even been set yet, so I'll do that now. But thank you, Sandy, for doing that. I do appreciate you helping me out with the show. Help us keep us going, going and growing. I could use the support of the show. One of the things that made me late today was I was getting my phone bill paid. There is expenses with running the show and running using data and all that shit, So anyhow, but there we go. Let's see. Did I do everything all right? I think I did. So there's the goal. The goal is now up. If you guys want to, anyone that can help with that would be great. Now let me go to all messages. I'm still on top messages. Let's go over here. Let's switch it over to all messages. This is usually the stuff I do when the intro's playing. But intro was short today. So now that skipped me down a little bit in the chat, and I can't go back to the very beginning. But I did see, like I said, Jolie and Sandy. And right now I'm at Deborah Murphy's here. Now I do see that everything is that's not my doing. If you have any problems or issues with that, take it up with YouTube. They're the ones that are fucking with it. We're all using our ats now apparently. So again, take that issue up with them. And if you don't, and you guys, you can change your you can go into your settings. I don't know why it's such a hard thing, whatever, but it's between you and YouTube and your own, however you want to set up your page. So anyhow, there's Sandy, there's Nick Rich is here, 11:17. So I'm about 6 minutes behind? 6 minutes. So that's not too bad. Maybe the benefits of having a short intro. Aaron West is here, so I do believe, I don't know if Jolie was still here or not, if Jolie's popped back in or not. So we got Aaron West here. Thank you, Aaron, for coming on in and helping us out. Gin Up the Bass is here. Michael McAndrews is here. Roxanne, did the Chargers shit the bed? The Chargers fucking kicked ass last night. Marsha Jones is here. Is he dead yet? I think we're talking about Cankles. Satire. Fingers crossed. Marsha's got her fingers crossed on that one. Damon Dog, the big dog, is here. DPD 5844, good to see you. Thanks for popping on in. James Jaramillo is here. See, most of your ats, I can tell who you are, but sometimes you guys have a different at name, and that's completely different, and then I don't know who you are. There's Jolie. So we are at full mod capacity. Full mod capacity. I don't know why I started doing that, but anyhow, Jolie's here. Says everyone click the 3 dots on the top right of the chat box. Click on feedback and complain to YouTube about the at names. It worked last time. So there you go. Jolie coming in with some advice on that there. Janet Bay says Roxanne 79. No, they didn't. They won 37-10. I guess you could say the Vikings shit the bed. They looked horrible. The Vikings looked absolutely fucking horrible. It was actually getting to the point where I was actually starting to feel sorry for fucking what's his face? The quarterback. And I never really liked that guy. And I was actually starting to feel sorry for him. I was like, take the motherfucker out. He looks like his arm's going to fall off or something. Anyhow, tonight is the game 1 of the World Series. Come on, folks, if you're not excited about that. Dodgers versus the Toronto Blue Jays. Go Dodgers. It will be in Toronto, so Toronto's got the home field advantage for the first 2 games. And then it will go back to LA for 3. That's the format. I guess what? 2-3, 2-3-2-1? Something like that. I don't know. They keep changing things. They keep changing rules and formats. I can't keep up with it anymore. Stephanie B2 is here. Hey, Steph, good to see you. Stephanie says, hello, everyone. I'm going to the optometrist today. I haven't gotten new glasses for at least 10 years. Wow. I've even had cataract lenses since. It'll be nice to see my crafts I'm making. Yeah. It'll be a whole new world for you. You're going to be like, wow. What I've been missing here. So good. Yeah, good on that. Get that prescription updated. I need to update mine. Mine's not too bad. These are reading glasses, but because they just work better for this still. These are my prescription glasses. They're bifocals. These are the first pair of prescription glasses I've ever gotten in my life, and it's been about 2 years now, and I do see that my eyes have gotten a little bit worse, not too much, a little tiny bit. So I think I should probably go and get a new prescription. Aaron West, I'd better bring my hoodie to Vegas. Yeah, it's gonna dip down in the 50s maybe at night. Might be it's a little sweater weather down here. Your daytime highs would be nice, probably around 80, 82. But at night, it's going to dip down in the 60s and 50s. So for sure, Aaron West, bring that hoodie. Big Hook. The Big Canuck makes for better sleeping. I'm not sure if it's about the overnight lows, maybe. I don't know. So Lady, is it Jaka? Is that a J? I do need glasses, don't I? 22 says it's me, Karen Ames. See, that's the thing. Some of your @names are so totally different that so if you didn't tell me that, I would probably see your little picture icon there, your little profile icon, and I might go, oh yeah, I think that's Karen Ames, because even those icons are so little, so tiny that sometimes I don't even, I can't really go by that always either. Karen Ames. Should I say the name that I know you as, or should I say your @name? Lady Jaka 22, aka Karen Ames, says I like Jimmy Carter. I liked Jimmy Carter. Me too. I love Jimmy Carter. I thought he was a great president and a great man, and I voted for his re-election in 1980, and I was so sad that he lost. I think I even lost the job over it. I told you that story before about how they fired me, and then I went and pissed all over their cars, their vans, their delivery vans, in retaliation. Me and my friend, we had some beer in us, so we had to, we had plenty of ammo. Let's see here, just scrolling down a little bit. David Dog says, I'm surprised John is not wearing his Chargers hat today. I don't have a Chargers hat. I'm not a Chargers fan. I'm a Rams fan, Damon Dog. I'm hoping that was a joke. I'm hoping that by now you know that my teams are the Rams in football and the Dodgers in baseball. Jen of the Bay says, Trucker John, from bedtime for Bonzo to dead time for Donzo. Hurry up. Sodium, do your thing. Oh boy. Satire. I need a satire button. So, but so I don't get hauled off to the Hoosgow. To the Hoosgow. Is that how you say it? I don't know. Belfast Bob Voltaire is here. Says, whoa, YouTube, you keep those perfect notifications on time. Will it last more than 2 days? Did you get notified, Belfast Bob? Did you get the notification? Just hit the bell, folks. There's a little notification, that little bell. Just hit that. And what it should do, it should send, when I go live, it should send you a notification to your whatever email you have on there, Gmail, email, whatever, that you have associated with your account. That's how it works, folks. That's how it works. This should be working that way. Little Cars, why did everyone change? We didn't. No one changed. We didn't. It wasn't like. Yeah, it's because of YouTube. Yeah. Let me just put it that way. Like, we didn't do it voluntarily or whatever. It was none of our own volition. This is a YouTube deal, and this has happened before. We've gone through this before several times now. Susie Jones is here. Hey, Susie, good to see you. Thanks for popping on in to the Old Drivers Lounge. I do appreciate you. Nick Rich, 20 past the hour. No, now I'm 11 minutes behind. I'm getting further and further back. But that's what happens. That's the way it goes, you know. My musical success journey. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. My musical success journey. I hope your journey is successful in music, by the way. No, the car is too much typing for my little finger, I guess. Something like that. Or something like that. Hey, Tim Farrell, the Farrell one's here. Hey, good to see you. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for popping on into the Drivers Lounge. Aaron West, Super Chat goal is up. LFG. Tim Farrell, go Blue Jays. I say, I will, I'll counter that with a go Dodgers. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, well, to be quite honest, I would be perfectly fine with a Dodgers sweep. You know. But if you're not really a fan of either team and you just like baseball and you're watching the World Series because you like baseball and you don't really have a dog in the fight or whatever, then I suppose the best scenario would be to go 7 games all the way down to the 7th game, and that's a lot of that's a lot of drama. You know, who's going to win? It really comes down to that. It's all or nothing. Game 7. So. If I'm watching the World Series and I don't really care about either team, that's kind of what I like, just down to the wire, back and forth, type of a thing. But when it's my team in there, I want my team to win in 4. It's just sweep, and I want every game to be like 10-0 in favor of my team. So that's just how I roll, man. Christina and Sun Go Squad's here. Hey, Christina, good to see you. Thanks for popping on in to the Old Drivers Lounge. The Old Drivers Lounge. I did save a meme just to fill up this big blank spot over here. And this one's got a lot of reading in it. Let's see. This one says, we've had the Affordable Care Act for 15 years. 15 years of not being denied coverage for pre-existing conditions. 15 years of no lifetime caps on coverage. 15 years of free cancer screenings, STI tests, PrEP, and birth control. And in that 15 years, Republicans have not offered a single goddamn motherfucking alternative healthcare plan. I added something to that. They've only tried to take away your healthcare away over 70 times. And I kind of question that or whatever. I think it does say 70 plus, but I think it's way more than 70 plus times. And that was made by threads.com at, I don't even know who that is, Jarrett. Let's give attribution here. Jarrett to Fark? Jared of Ark. Maybe he's from Arkansas. Jared of Arkansas. But there you go. There you have it. And now Congress is shut down, and all the Democrats are asking is to please extend these subsidies, these healthcare subsidies, so that people don't lose their fucking healthcare, because they will otherwise. When the premiums go up 2, 3, and 4 times, people aren't going to be able to afford that, and they're going to lose their healthcare coverage. That's all this is. That's all they're asking. They're not asking for the fucking world. They're not asking that Donald Trump stop tearing down the White House. That's not part of the conditions of going back to Congress, opening, They're not asking that Trump stop illegally arresting people off the street. They're not asking for that. Not that they don't want that, but the thing that they're asking that they go back into Congress and negotiate about and talk about is health care. And I don't think that's too much to ask. Is it too much to ask that people be able to afford their health fucking care? A lot of people can barely afford now, even with the subsidies. They're on the edge. They're stressed out. So even just doubling it is going to knock millions and millions of people off. Let alone, they're saying in some cases triple, in some cases quadruple. So for sure people aren't going to afford those. So fuck you, Mike Johnson, and double fuck you, fucking Donald Trump. You lying sacks of shit. Every time they say this is a Democrat closed down, the Democrats are closing it down. Fuck you. This is about, just for the love of God, just helping to keep people, help people keep their fucking insurance. It's going to knock off tens of millions of people off of insurance if they don't extend these fucking subsidies. So fuck you, Donald Trump. Fuck you, GOP. And fuck all you fucking maggots that vote for these motherfuckers. And I guess the only thing that we can think about is a lot of the people that will get knocked off of insurance are maggots. And I hope you get hurt the most if you lose your insurance. Because you deserve it. You got it coming. Johnny Katz is here. I'm not sure who Johnny Katz is in real life. With the ats. So, and I don't remember everyone's little icon thing. So, but thanks for being here, Johnny Katz. I kind of like the name Johnny Katz. There's a guy here in Vegas, actually. He's like an entertainment reporter for the Las Vegas Review Journal, or Journal Review, whatever the fuck it's called. And he's kind of well known around the city. And his name he goes by Johnny Katz, but it's with a K, because his last name is like Kasmatopoulos or something like that. Some sort of a Greek. I'm assuming it's like a Greek surname or whatever, Greek origins. But he just goes by Johnny Katz, but with a K instead of a C. Quite clever. Christina and Sun Go Squad says, I need a wonderful song, John, you need to check out. It will come out next Wednesday, though, but it's called The Ocean Drugs Part 1 and 2. Interesting. You've piqued my curiosity, Christina. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to that. Oh, Johnny Cat says, son of a bitch, I don't want to be Johnny Cat. I put a lot of time into Jonathan. So this is Jonathan. Well, Jonathan, you can go and you can change your @. You can change your @ name to Jonathan. It's not that hard. I have a feeling that YouTube might make this permanent at some point, because I think they want the ads because it's supposed to help with the security or something, or help with reducing hacking or something like that. So this might be the new norm, the ads. So if you don't like your ad, you can change your fucking ad. You really can. Believe me, it's not that hard. Just go up into your settings and you can change your ad. You could change your ad to @Jonathan, and if there's another Jonathan, then it might have to be @Jonathan12345 or something like that. But anyhow, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse because I've told you guys this a million times. 72, I'll be taking you into the shower with me. Here we go with the showers again. We had that yesterday. Bunch of people taking showers in the driver's lounge. We don't have showers in the driver's lounge, but if we did, you could. Actually, I mean, well, Victor Harchman's here. Hey, Victor, good to see you. Victor says, just got a letter from Providence Insurance. Our premiums are going up $200 a month. And that has nothing to do with the tax credit cuts the GOP are trying to cut. Wow. So yeah, you're just because actually those cuts and the effects of that aren't really supposed to go into effect until, I guess, January. So you've already got your premiums raised. That's fucked up, man. Owen's here, says I'm present. Hello, Owen. Good to see you. Roxanne79 says, TJ, I had the teams mixed up. My bad. Roxanne, get it together, man. Get it together. Get it together. Get it together. Get it together. Jolie says, hi, Johnny Cass. It was good. Oh, wait. So Johnny must have asked if Jolie watched something. Let's see. Probably that punk show. See, it was good. I don't even see where I see. I must have missed the question. Oh, how was punk last night? Okay, so that's what Jolie's talking about. There's a show, this political punk Jolie's been checking out, and she's becoming addicted to his show. I watched Riverboat Jack last night. I thought it was pretty good. Going over the what's the guy's name? Grant something from Maine, the guy who had the Nazi tattoo. I thought that was a pretty good. I liked what I got to know a little bit more about the guy. Lady Lake or Lady Jocka? It should be Lady Lake, but anyhow, Lady Jocka 22 says, "Should we not tell TJ who I am?" I know you're Karen. I saw that you were Karen Ames from Victorville, right? Is that the right one? Wait, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not right. Maybe I messed it up. But it's up to you. Whatever you want to do. DPD 5844 says the Nazis pardoned Changpeng Zhao, the founder of the cryptocurrency exchange. Oh, I remember that guy. He pled guilty in 2023 for violating the U.S. anti-money laundering laws. He was supposed to pay back $4 billion, but not now. I guess that's all been forgiven. Like I said yesterday, who does Trump fucking pardon? He pardons criminals who should be in prison. He this is just more of Trump pardoning his buddies, and he apparently likes criminals. There's no reason to do that, and we probably didn't get one dime of that $4 billion, right? Probably not even one dime was paid back. And then I get people coming in, not you guys, but other people that come in on the comments on some of my videos, and they'll say how Biden pardoned his whole family. Yeah, that was after Trump won re-election or won election in this last election, and he knows how fucking vindictive and vengeful Trump is, and how he weaponizes the DOJ. Yeah, that's a little bit different than pardoning a guy who's in prison for murdering people, a mafia guy who's a murderer. There's a bit of a difference, wouldn't you say? I would say there was a big difference. A huge difference. Donald Trump goes after his political enemies. He does everything that the Democrats were afraid of being accused of. And that's why a lot of times they don't prosecute. That's a lot of reasons. That's the main reason why Donald Trump is not in prison today, is because Democrats were afraid of how it would look. It would look like they're weaponizing the DOJ. It would look like they're going after their political enemies. That's the only reason Trump is fucking a free man today. And it horribly backfired on us, didn't it? Nick Rich 56 says in Toronto can't afford a ticket though. Well, go watch it on TV, man. Anna Morris here says go Dodgers. Yes, there's one of my fellow Dodger fans. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Oh, Roxanne says fancy update. She's getting released from the hospital today. That's really good news. I don't know. I never found out what happened. I never found out why she's in the hospital, but I'm glad she's being released. That's good news. So all thoughts and prayers and positive thoughts of healing and getting better soon, sending out to Fancy, but I don't even know. I don't know why she was in the hospital in the first place. I hope she gets better soon, and is on the road to mending well. Tim Farrell, we will be able to count. We can count that we will score more runs than your sissy team. So that's all that counts. We will count that we have more runs than you. Just for that comment you made about me, I'm going to put a hex on Toronto and double down on my 4-0 sweep. Instead of scoring 10 runs a game, we're going to be scoring 20 runs a game. So there. Belfast Bob Voltaire says, I've got you, TJ, on 2 separate Bluetooth devotes and double TJs with TJ2 about 2 to 3 seconds out. Freaking man. Yeah, the audio and the feed, it never seems to really line up exactly. You know, it's always off by even just a fraction of a second, and it'll have a weird kind of echo to it or whatever. Belfast, what was the Sujuper win? I don't even know what that's in reference to. Lady Jocka 22, my icon is always my dog Belle. Michael McAndrews. Oh no, why did I say Michael McAndrews? My music success journey with a $10 super chat. Yippee! There's your yippee shout. I gave you a thumbs up and a heart. Thank you so much. So shots fired, bam. I don't know what that's about. I hope that's satire. Do I need to put a satire thing up? I don't know. Satire. But thank you, my musical success journey. $10 super chat. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you. That helps the show, helps us keep things going here. Roxanne79 says, say what you know us as, please, TJ. Alrighty then. Alrighty, I'll try my best. Rosanna21 is here. Christina and Son Ghost Squad says, it's not an insult because I was born in 1976, so I'm just sharing the love of the year. Marsha Jones says, you marked your spot, TJ. I don't know what that means. I really have no idea what that means. I marked my spot. I have no idea what that means. Victor Harshman says, Steve Bannon telling The Economist there won't be elections in 2028 on the same day Trump touting the stolen 2020 election and the fact that we can't have that in 2028. F them. I really wish the whole lot of them would just fucking be tossed in jail and just rot in a prison the rest of their fucking miserable lives. All of them. Steve Bannon, of course, Trump, Stephen Miller, all these motherfuckers. They need to all just be fucking thrown in a dark prison somewhere. Jen at the base says, Trucker John, you went Charles Haley and pissed on the company vehicles. Oh, that was the mark the spot thing. Okay. Yeah, I've told the story before, so I don't know if I should tell it again or not. I've told the story probably 3 or 4 times, so I don't know if I should keep telling the story or not. Basically, I got fired right after Reagan got elected in 1980. I got fired from I was a delivery driver. I delivered office office supplies to businesses all around the Victor Valley, even as far away as Lucerne Valley. I would deliver, and Karen Ames would know that she knows all these places. And anyhow, I got fired because apparently I wasn't sufficiently joyous enough on election day when Reagan won. So then me and my buddy went and pissed all over their vans after I got fired. Susie Jones says, I slept through house today. I couldn't keep my eyes open. I know the feeling. Belfast Bob says, yes, TJ, you and Hal, perfect. When did I talk about Hal, actually, today, besides just now? Sometimes I get lost in these comments when if I'm not, I'm reading them 10, 15 minutes behind. I don't even know. I don't even remember bringing Hal up, to tell the truth. Lady Jocka 22, our names were fine during Hal's show. Well, again, I had nothing to do with it. Please direct all your complaints to YouTube. Susie Jones, I have nowhere to. Jolie explained earlier. You probably weren't here, Susie, but you can hit the three dots up in the right-hand corner, and there's a thing that'll take you to where you can contact YouTube. And Roxanne says you can attempt to contact YouTube by going into your settings and then feedback. DVD says the national deficit is, and it's a big, huge, long number. All I know it's over $38 trillion. A trillion, folks. Let that sink in. This is what Trump is doing, just running up our deficit. That's what, and that is the pattern of Republicans, though. That's why I always have the joke: if we're running like good Democrats or like Democrats. Like right now, I got 46 watching, but only 38 thumbs up. So my joke is right now we're operating like Republicans because we're operating at a deficit. So that's where I got that joke from, or whatever you want to call that. Yeah. So Lady Jocka, that's your Karen Ames, right? So can I say Karen Ames? Says Dumpy has added like $2 trillion already. Yeah, in just the first 10 months. In 10 months. Karen Ames says SNAP needs to be in the news too, besides healthcare. Karen Ames says nobody is getting their SNAP in November. There's David Weiss from Denver, says hello from Denver. Karen Ames says California just added qualifications for Medicaid so more people can qualify. Wow. My musical success journey says healthcare, care being the key word there. Fuck insurance companies. Well, that's what we would like to be. We would like, I think most of us Democrats, we would like to have Medicare for all. But we're never going to do that if people keep voting for fucking Republicans. Maybe enough people will get knocked off insurance and we'll maybe learn a lesson here. If we could have gotten public option through during the ACA negotiations, we would have. I firmly believe we would have, but we didn't have the numbers you guys think we had. So to get that negotiated through, it took a lot. It took a lot of work. David Dock says healthcare insurance increases is Obama's fault. If he had never given them healthcare in the first place, they wouldn't miss it when the GOP takes it away. That makes no sense to me whatsoever, Damon Dog. I'm trying to reread it, and that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. I don't know if that's sarcasm or what. It makes no fucking sense to me whatsoever. Victor Harshman says Jack Smith calling Jim Jordan's bluff and calling for a public hearing. Dems need to push this to force pressure on Republican Oversight Committee. Good on Jack Smith. Jack Smith says bring it. Because Jack Smith has the receipts. So, bring it. Hey, there's Belfast Bob Voltaire with a £2 super chat. Yippee to Belfast Bob. Thank you so much. for that super chat. He says, fuck yeah, TJ, fuck yeah, cussing jar, laughing out loud. Yeah, okay. Put that in the cussing jar. Thank you, Boss Bob. I appreciate you for helping us out, helping us make the goal today. I do appreciate it. Roxanne says, we don't blame you for the YouTube BS. We're just bitching about it. I just want people to, because some people might not know that. And they might think that I did something. And I know you don't, but I just want to make it perfectly clear. I have nothing to do with it. There's Michael McAndrews with a $5 super chat. Yippee! Going out to Michael McAndrews. Thank you so much. And there's a thumbs up and a heart. Michael McAndrews, a little indigestion there. Got a burp going. But thanks, Michael. I appreciate you. Thanks for the support. Always appreciated. DPD 5844 says, attention, these companies all paid for a piece of the White House, Amazon, Caterpillar Inc., Hard Rock International, Google, Microsoft, T-Mobile, Lincoln, Pacific Railroad, Hewlett Packard, Comcast, Apple, Coinbase. Yeah, I saw that list somewhere. Someone had it on. I did see that earlier. Nola Carr says you can't have any rollover from Snap because they are taking that also, so spend them while you have them. Tim Farrell says, it's only here, John. The ats are unchanged everywhere else. Again, not my doing. I know that they do, sometimes they do like experiments, or they try things out, and they only do it on certain accounts. They don't do it completely across the whole platform. So sometimes they try things out on just on a few channels or whatever. So maybe that has something to do with it. Why it's on me and you didn't see it elsewhere. Is Witchy Woman here? Did I miss Kimchi somehow? I guess I don't know. I didn't see Kimchi, but someone was talking to Kimchi. So if Kimchi, if you're here, welcome to the driver's lounge. Thanks for being here. But because someone was talking to you, it looks like. Yeah, Christina and Sun Ghost Squad says, yes, Witchy Woman, and I... maybe you weren't talking to her. You were talking... Okay. We're in a shower together, but in separate places. Right, okay, I got you. Roxanne 79, I shower to music. It might freak out listening to the Trucker's Lounge. Well, I don't know. Jolie says, I don't want numbers or anything with my name, and Jolie is taken. Not many seem to notice the underscore in front of my name, so I'm missing messages. I hate the @ names. I know you do, and I know it's a pain in the ass. I guess it's Karen Ames. Here says, my friend qualifies for Medicaid but won't do it because she doesn't want them to know her business. She'd rather pay for insurance even though her premiums just went up. Johnny Cat says, son of a bitch, he saw our messages. We've been had. I'm moving to Thailand. Who saw your messages? Rock says 79, I like Riverboat Jack. They go deep into certain stuff. I like Riverboat Jack, but sometimes I find that she's a little more even far left than I am. She's a little more democratic socialist than I am. But having said that, I think I still agree with her probably 85 to 90%, or maybe even more than 90% of the time, maybe 95% of the time. You know, so I mean, you can't complain about that, right? It doesn't have to be 100%. Let's see. Mike Ghost 9923 says Trucker John proves that white liberalism is a mental disorder. Oh, hey, good. We got some trolls in here. Good to have the trolls. That means that's supposed to be a good sign. So troll away and get us into the algorithm there, Mike Ghost. DPD 5844 says continued Micron technology, Ripple Reynolds, American Palantir Technology Inc., the Lutnick family, the Adahor Family Foundation, Stellan E. Brochi, J. Pepe, and Amelia Fanful Blues, Alan Hamilton. Now, I don't know if you're going to continue with the list, DPD, but I did see that, I think it was the, what the fuck are their names? The twins that Mark Zuckerberg ripped off when he took Facebook from them and made it Facebook. What the Winklevoss or Winkle, whatever the fuck their names are, and they are very rich because they did sue Mark Zuckerberg, and they were able to get a piece of Facebook, a big enough piece that they're also billionaires, and they are also contributing to supposedly to this ballroom fund. Johnny Cat says, yeah, Joe Biden's family didn't have any judgments levied against them. What a, I don't know, fucking dick motherfucking argument. DPD, they pardoned the motherfucker as of yesterday. That was, yeah, I think we talked about that already. Belfast Bob says, I've been watching Riverboat Jack for a year, but Roxanne 100%, it's not nice. Oh, what's not nice? What did I miss that wasn't nice? I don't know. I missed that part. Bill Carr says, thank God for Fancy. Yeah, I hope Fancy's doing well, guys. Let's all send positive thoughts of healing out to Fancy. I don't know what happened, but just know that she needs positive thoughts of healing because she did something. Bethany Arbaugh's here. Hey, Bethany, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in to the old driver's lounge. I do appreciate you. I appreciate you. Belfast Bob Voltaire says, no, me, TJ, you're on stereo, but double, so I've got two TJs. Talking about one off, you is 2 to 3 seconds out. Okay. Alrighty then. Well, alrighty then. My music success journey says, my real name is Ivan. I'm a dad, musician, and I love creating videos on YouTube, and I love watching this channel. Very cool. Well, thank you so much, my music success journey, and I'm glad you're here. Glad to have you. Thanks for hanging out with us. Christina Weibel says there's a lot of voting audits going on. Election Truth Alliance. Damon Dog says, I did a bad thing. I ordered the Willie's Remedy collector's bundle 2 bottles, 2 shot glasses, and a Willie Nelson hanky. Mad Max here, Slava Ukraini. It's Mad Max. I can always hear when my neighbor walks by, or when he scuffles by, because he has like a walker, and he kind of like, you can hear the scraping of the walker. So whenever I hear that scraping sound, I know it's my neighbor. There's my neighbor walking by. Howdy, neighbor. Rosanna21 says 47 watching, only 37 likes. She's reminding people to hit the like button. And a few people did. We got 49 watching, 46 thumbs ups. We're getting to a balanced budget. We're almost acting like good Democrats. Twisted Nurse Paintings is here, says Trucker John. Good afternoon. Well, good afternoon right back at you. How's the editing going? Are you still editing a lot? Rosanna21 says FDT, 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 FDT. It can't be said enough. It really can't be said enough. Damon Dog, the big dog, says Ontario Premier Ford says he'll pull the ad that pissed off Trump and made him cut off talks. What a fucking baby. I can't believe Ford capitulated. Well, I don't know. I mean, they're our number one trading partner. We're probably their number one trading partner. Sometimes you gotta, I guess, humble yourself a little bit for the good of the country. Unfortunately, I mean, I don't know. Not sure if we should be quite so critical of the guy. He is talking, he is thinking about the best interest of his country. And if all it's going to take is pulling that ad to get baby Trump is the baby, actually, to get baby Trump to resume talks, then it's not, in the overall scheme of things, it's not that big of a thing, I guess. Christina Weibel says, I keep saying Dinky wants a genocide in this country. He certainly, we saw how he handled COVID, so you're not out of line with that thinking. Christina Weibel, you're not out of line. You're not, I don't believe that's hyperbole, actually. I think you might be onto something. Nick Rich, 12 noon. I'm 13 minutes behind. David Dog says, all of my comments are sarcasm, unless they're not. Troll Slayer, 007 Kevin. Troll Slayer is here. I'm glad Jack is back. Jack Smith, I guess. Jack Smith says, bring it. Bring it. I got the receipts, bitches. DPD 5844 says the Nazi fascist white nationalist regime of pedophiles' plan is to weaken and destroy the American dollar. Therefore, their wet dream will become a reality, and crypto will be our national currency. Wayne Goen says, hey, Wayne, by the way, welcome, and thanks for being here. Wayne Goen says, the Democrats wanted universal health care. Republicans said, no way. The compromise was ACA. I think that's a pretty fair rundown. In a nutshell. In a very tiny little nutshell. MJ Daniels here up from Washington State. Says when Republican states lose their snap, they're going to lose their shit. Okay, I added that part. When they lose their snap, lose their health care, lose their schools, lose their farms and businesses, then will they get it? Not many of them, F-47. I know. Will they still get it, or are they still going to blame Biden? Are they still going to blame Kamala Harris? Are they still going to blame the Dems in general? Yeah. What will it take? Maybe, hopefully, enough of them. I don't expect all of them, but maybe some amount, some fraction or amount of them will, see the light and break away. I don't expect it to be 100%, but I don't know. What if 10 or 15 or 20% of them break away and they just keep shrinking? MAGA just keeps shrinking and shrinking to the point where they are truly insignificant. I mean, that's kind of my hope. I don't expect that they all will all go, oh, wow, yeah, this was Trump's fault. This was the Republicans' fault. But maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15% of them will see the light. Maybe 20% of them will see the light. I guess that's all you can hope for, is that a certain percentage will not saying they will just all of a sudden become, true blue Democrats, but they'll at least fall away from MAGA and at least recognize that this was brought on by the Republican Party that is basically MAGA now. Anna Moore says, I was able to keep my children in the ACA insurance until they turned 26. That was a great benefit. That way, your kids could go to college, they could graduate, they could get set up in their new careers before they had to start worrying about insurance. They were already on their parents, and they could stay on there until 26. And then that's, generally speaking, when things start happening career-wise or whatever. And that was a great thing. But according to the Republicans, that's just horrible and awful. And Obama and Biden are criminals or something. It's just they're just they play this game. These Republican politicians, and where they want to demonize everything, and when the real issue is they don't want anything. They want no taxes. They want no regulations. That's really what it always comes down to, no matter how many layers of all this other bullshit we put on it. They don't care if healthcare and being able to have your children on your policy until they're 26. They don't give a fuck how beneficial that might be to a lot of families. They don't give a fuck. All it comes down is they want to be elected so that they can bring down taxes for the rich and strip away regulations for the rich. It's what it always comes down to, no matter what. Catherine Real Health Talk says, hi everyone. Hi, TJ. Huffington Post article has list of donors. Yeah, and DPD 5844 has been posting a lot of that. And I remember the last two names, I believe, were the Winklevoss twins, or whatever the fuck their names are. And as soon as I saw that, I go, oh, those are the dudes that co-created Facebook, and Mark Zuckerberg fucked them over. But then, like I said, they eventually sued, and they've got a piece of Facebook, and they're billionaires too. But it's just funny, you don't really see their names come up in anything that often. But there they are, being the Republican scumbags that they are. They're just as scummy as Zuckerberg, apparently. So. Lady Karen Ames, I guess. I really think if you're going to use the @ lady, it should be Lady Lake. I don't know, like Lady of the Lake. But anyhow, Karen Ames, I believe, says they are really saying Trump is rebuilding the bunker and using the Epstein ballroom as the excuse. I did hear something about that. I didn't hear details, but I did hear that. Why couldn't he just rebuild the bunker then? Why does he have to go through all this pretense? Why couldn't he just fucking rebuild the bunker? Would anyone really care? Like, if you just rebuilt the bunker, I mean, do you have to tear down the east wing in order to do that? I don't know. I would think that there are ways of doing that without tearing down half of the fucking White House. So we got full-timer VGal. I don't know what your real name is. But there's full-timer VGal. Says, thankfully I saw this coming when he was elected, so I started buying extra rice and beans and other staples, so I'll be okay for a while. Like I said, Trump is just going to turn us all into preppers. I've said that before. Kimchi, there's Kimchi. Hello, Kimchi. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us here in the Driver's Lounge. We've been talking about your shower. People are still worked up about your shower yesterday. My goodness gracious. Victor Harshman says government runs out of money to pay troops November 1st. Wow. I gotta say, the air traffic control. That's the word I'm missing. Tim Farrell. I'm so stupid. That's the well, if I was an air traffic controller, I would just quit. I would just quit my job. They're not paying me. So what have you got to lose? And they could just shut down air traffic. Because I know, I don't know, does this go back to Reagan when the air traffic controller union, remember they were going to go on strike, and then Reagan said anyone who strikes, you'll be fired, and I think a bunch of people went on strike, and he fired them all the people that went on strike. But now I think if I was an air traffic controller, I think I would quit, and I would be telling everyone else to quit. I would tell everyone, let's just all quit. They're going to fire us anyway, and we're not getting paid, so let's fucking quit. But they all have to do it. It can't just be one or two people. It has to be like almost all of them. But they all need to just fucking quit. Because they won't be able to run airplanes. And that will be a big, huge impact on the economy and everything. Air traffic and air travel is huge. I think the air traffic controllers should just say, we're done. We're done, son. You're not paying us? Fuck you. We're out. We're gone. At that point, they got nothing to lose. What do they got to lose? They're not getting paid, so why show up? I wouldn't show up. What's it been, like 3 weeks now? Going on 4 weeks? I would be like, out of here. Sayonara. Catherine Real Hill Talk says, by the way, I saw an interview with Miss Giffray. I always forget how to pronounce her name. Giffray. Book publisher last night on PBS. Oh my God, how sad. That poor girl never had a chance. I will not be able to read it. Too painful. So if you can, do it. That was also covered on Riverboat Jack last night, and it was horrible. Absolutely horrible what they did to that girl. Absolutely horrible. That's the type of shit that Donald Trump is getting away with. We can't let him get away with this shit, man. DPD 5044, I forgot Meta is also on the list. Yeah. Fuck Meta. Wayne going, I pray for Virginia's soul. Yeah, just so horribly what they did to her. And she's not the only one. There's, who knows how many hundreds or thousands of other girls they did the same thing to. Girls and young boys probably, right? Roxanne79 says Gavin. Guess we're talking about Gavin Newsom. What other Gavin would there be? But Gavin called for National Guard to help supply food banks all over the state. At least one Democrat is proactive and takes these attacks seriously. Gavin Newsom, 2028, right? Nick Rich, hour 1 is done. Yeah, I've been on an hour and 15 minutes, so I guess I'm about 15 minutes behind. Karen Ames says, Roxanne 79, that's why I'm glad I'm in California. I hate going to food banks, but I will if I need to. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's good to have that, right? To have that option. It's better than starving to death, so. Twist Nerve Painting says, I'll finish for the week with editing. Filming for next week starts tomorrow, laughing out loud. Roxanne says, Karen Ames, I don't think anyone likes going there, talking about the food banks. But my friend has been going and said the food has improved, so that's a good sign. That is a good sign. See, people have said this before, and I've said this, that Donald Trump he's like COVID without the COVID. He's taking us back to COVID, He's so horrible. He is such a fucking horrible person and a horrible leader. He's not a leader. He's a destroyer. Is all he is. Everything he touches, he destroys. And that's why those images of the East Wing are so, they really illustrate that. MJ Daniel says that Canadian tariff ad had served its purpose. I don't know what's going on with that goddamn throat. It exposed DJT as the weak toddler with a fragile ego that he is again. There's Roxanne Armfield, 7476, is here. Good to see Roxanne Armfield. Because we got a couple Roxannes here, right? So we got both the Roxannes here today. DPD 5844 says, but remember, TJ, you can't negotiate with a petulant child. There is no such word as trust or handshakes when it comes to these assholes. The word trust is the equivalent of holy war to them. Marshall Jones says he screwed the farmers in the first term and they still voted for him again. That's because he gave them a really big bailout. He had to buy them off with a really big bailout. And he's not doing it this time. And any talk that anything I've heard him say anything about bailing out the farmers it's been a minuscule. It's like amount. So yeah, the farmers fucked themselves over. That's for sure. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights is here. Hey, hello, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Good to see you. Go Dodgers. Yes, go Dodgers. Absolutely. Christina Weimel, no kings and no dictators. Mad Max says maggots are so fucking full of hate. Christina and Sun Ghost Squad said they should all be in jail because they're all criminals. If you don't want rules, it's because you're going to break them. Chris Doug's here. Hey, Chris, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Chris says, never forget, they are the rape Republicans that protect rapists and traffickers and pedophiles. That's right. They are the party of the pedophiles. Instead of the GOP, they're the POP. Or they're the party of the pedophile protectors. POP. P-O-P-P. Nick Rich, 20 past the hour. Oh, no, wait. What time is it? Oh, it's okay. No, I was looking at the wrong thing. So yeah, I'm about 11 minutes behind. Yeah, Chris Winklevoss has made a fortune in Bitcoin using their Facebook money. They still got money. They still got billions of dollars from Facebook. Marshall Jones, why does he need a ballroom anyhow? Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't even need it. Twisted Nurse says, no worries there, John. I was prepping years ago. Now we're all going to be preppers. Karen Ames says, I think he needs a bigger ballroom than Putin or Orban. Chris Doug says the Republicans are going to need Preparation H after we ream them in the congressional midterms. I hope to God you're right. I hope to God we have the elections. They're all free and fair and on the up and up, and we can get our votes in, and that we just absolutely destroy them in the midterms. Tim Farrell says general strike is needed. I agree. I absolutely agree 100%. We need a general strike. Karen Ames says the number of people given for the protest was only those who signed up. There were a lot of us who didn't. That's why they upgraded the number from 7 million to 12 million. Because they were saying that so many more people showed up that didn't sign up. So if you've seen those numbers, they were saying 7 million. Then they upgraded it to 12 million. Roxanne 79 says, I agree, TJ. TSA should quit or strike. Absolutely, 100%. Or maybe do a blue flu where they all call in sick. Every single one of them should call in sick on the same day just to send the message. And if that doesn't work, then everyone should just go, okay, we quit. We're done. We're out. Fuck you. We'll go on strike and picket. Actually picket. Do some old-fashioned union shit. Belfast Bob Voltaire says was on YouTube channel, and the amount of Republicans sitting and leaders in their communities and churches getting caught and big jail sentences for child SA of all ages since getting sworn in is nuts. Yeah, this is the Republican Party. It's all projection. It's all projection, folks. They want to call the Democrats the pedophiles. They're the pedophiles. They want to call Democrats rapists. They're the fucking rapists. Whatever, it's always projection with them. Damon Dog says, years ago, air traffic controllers had the second highest rate of suicide. Dentists were number one. I don't know if that's still the case. Poor dentists. I think dentists are killing themselves because they just have a they have a what do you call it? Like their self-esteem. They have such low self-esteem because they always feel like they're in the shadow of actual medical doctors or something. I'm kind of joking, and that's not a subject someone should joke about. So I'm sorry. You shouldn't joke about suicide. I apologize. Anyhow, Chris Doug says, no, Kings, 12 million Americans marched for constitutional law, free and fair elections, and no dictatorship of stupidity. Yep, like I said, they raised the number to 12 million because of all the people that showed up that didn't sign up. DBD5844 says there's a show on YouTube called Why I Hate Politics. The host name is Superior, and he believes communism and communists are a good thing. I'm not sure why you would even bring that up. Unless you're agreeing. And I don't think communism is a good thing. I'm leaning more towards democratic socialism. I'm leaning more towards the Scandinavian way of doing things. I'm leaning more towards, yeah, you can be a capitalist and you can own a business and you can make a profit, but you're going to be regulated and you're going to be taxed. And we're going to engage in fair trade policies and practices, and not just free trade where everything is where there's no holds barred. We're going to have fair trade where we only deal with people who also believe in fair trade. You know, see how that works? I believe in those type of things. I don't believe in communism. I don't think the way the Chinese communism didn't work, the Russia type of communism didn't work. None of that shit fucking works. You end up with one despot like Joseph Lenin or whatever. So that shit didn't work. I'd rather go our way. And even though it's all fucked up and we've got a fucked up person in charge right now, I think at least we have the hope that we can get rid of that fucked up person and get some good people in there, and we can get some good laws and good regulations. We just got to cut through all the bullshit and cut through all the fucking propaganda, the right-wing propaganda. Damon Dog says, I'm heading to Hippie Fest tomorrow. I'll have my ticket. I'll be live casting the fun. Looking forward to that, Damon Dog. I hope you have a good time. Then Damon Dog says 12-2. So I don't even know what that means. December 2nd? But then, so I don't know. James Automeos has got to run. All right, take care. You take care. You're probably gone already because I'm behind, but thanks for being here, James. I do appreciate you. Mad Max says, oh, good. I've been busy here at work and was thinking I was way late popping in, TJ. Glad you're here. Glad you made it. Christina and Son Ghost Squad says, went to the food banks before my SNAP went through and not bad. The church near me had good stuff, and then there was like a food pantry, which is different than a food bank. That was good. Damon Dog says, one of the food banks near me has a place where you can just go get bread and cakes without going through any paperwork. It's expired stuff, but it's free. So if it doesn't have any mold on it, any green moldy stuff on it, you better eat it fast. Get it and eat it fast before because you might be a day or two away from it getting little green spots on it. Nola Carnes says Gavin Newsom is A-okay, I guess. Catherine Real Hell Talk says China has taken possession of about 380,000 acres of farmland. Also, Alexandra Fosulo is awesome. YouTube channel about solar companies pressure farmers to take more farmland. Catherine Real Hell Talk, GOP is gross, obsequious pedophilia sycophants. I know, we keep trying to come up with a good acronym for that. Damon Dog says a Washington construction company hired all undocumented workers on purpose to finish up some projects, then called ICE on them so he wouldn't have to pay them. Oh my God. is disgusting. That is disgusting. Karen Ames says U.S. inflation rise to 3% in September. Yep, inflation's rising. Christina and Sun Go Squad says, I'm sure they're part of a union. Their union should have them strike. Well, I think that was the thing going all the way back to Reagan, where Reagan made it illegal for air traffic controllers to go on strike, I believe. Right? And then a bunch of them went on strike. I guess they didn't believe him, and then he had them all fired. And they did get fired. Reagan was able to get, I guess, legislation or something where they would all the air traffic controllers that went on strike. Now, I might be getting this wrong. Tim Farrell, correct me. Someone correct me. But I'm pretty sure he ended up firing all of them, and it stuck. They didn't get their jobs back. So that's the thing. I don't think they can legally strike. Just like postal workers. I was a postal worker. We didn't have the right to strike. We have a union, and the union was pretty good, considering, all things considered. I think the union was good. I was a shop steward. Maybe I'm biased. I did good work getting people's grievances handled, getting their discipline knocked down and reduced and all that kind of stuff. That's about all the union can do, and also negotiate a collective bargaining agreement. I think they're pretty good at that. So the TSA union is probably pretty good at getting a good collective bargaining and handling grievances. Those are great things. But I don't believe they have the legal right to strike, and I don't, just like the postal workers. So if they go on strike, they are basically risking just losing their jobs for life, at least as an air traffic controller. So that's the big risk. But at this point, I'm like, well, if you're not paying me, I ain't working. So, but of course, the hope is that they want to keep their jobs because they don't see this lasting forever, and they're like, okay, we're just going to hang in there, and hopefully this thing gets resolved, and we get our jobs back, and we get our pay back. But I don't know, man. The longer this goes on, the longer you're going to have people going, what the fuck are we doing here? MJ Daniels says, general walkout nationwide and no spending. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And the message needs to be directed right at Trump. If we all go on strike and we shut this country down, and it all needs to be, and they go, why are you doing this? We're doing this because of you, motherfucker, talking to Trump, and we want you fucking out. How about this? I know a lot of you won't like this, but what if it's like, look, you can take your fucking jet and you can fly anywhere in the world you want, just never come back. I know a lot of us, we want to see him rot in prison, but I would be willing with just, what do you call it? Exiling him. Exile his ass, and so we never have to deal with him again. Now, Roxanne Arfield says, shame on you, Johnny. I'm not sure what that was in reference to. Unless it's Johnny Katz. Maybe that was Johnny Katz that she's talking about, so I don't know. Wayne Goen says, things will never improve until we tax the rich and wealthy more like we used to. Oh yeah, so Johnny Cash says I'm a naughty. So I kind of skipped down. I'm not sure what Jonathan was being naughty about. Not really sure. Stephanie 2, all out of the shower and all dressed. That's good. Mad Max says, when will Iraq follow through with their threats? We keep waiting for a brighter day if they do what they said they will do. You know who. Yeah, come on, Iraq. What the fuck? We're waiting. Satire, 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 satire. Victor Harshman says, democracy and capitalism is a good mix. We just need to make taxation fair for all. Yeah, see, the Republicans, they just want it to be like no holds barred, what is it? No holds barred. They just want to be able to do whatever the fuck they want, and they don't want to pay any fucking taxes, and they don't want any regulations, no laws. They just want this to be the old Wild West. They can just do whatever the fuck they want. Well, fuck you, motherfuckers. No. These motherfuckers, these oligarchs, they're making business be a bad word. They're making capitalism a bad thing, a bad word. Those things can work if they're fucking regulated. Strongly regulated. Well regulated. So, yeah. Fuck those assholes. That's what I got to say about that in a nutshell. Okay, I just skipped down. I'm a bit mid-thread. Mad Max says, very good observation. That might be very true at Lady Lake. I keep saying Lady Lake. Lady Jaka, 22, otherwise known as Karen Ames. Also, $40 billion to Argentina might be to make the orange pedo cozy when he flees the USA like the Nazis did. Hey, look, like I just said, let him get on his fucking plane. He can fly to Argentina and he can just stay there for the rest of his life, for all I care, for the rest of his rotten fucking life, which I don't know how long he has. Let him go to Argentina. He can take J.D. Vance with him. He can take fucking Stephen Miller with him. They can all go down there. Let him go down there, live out their rotten, miserable lives in Argentina, and let us have our fucking government back. Chris Doug says, Reagan copied what Aussie PM Bob Hawke did in Australia, fire the strikers. Yeah, I remember he fired those air traffic controllers. Christina's son goes, oh, you're right, it's illegal. I did not realize that. Well, I believe so. Yeah, I believe so, Christina. So if they did do that, they would be basically, I guess, giving up their jobs but the thing is, if they all, see, that's the thing, if all of them did it, or I don't know, 75% or 80% of them did it, it would shut down all the airports in the country. And so then it seems like you would have them by the balls. You would have some negotiating power there, you'd have leverage to get your job back. But, I don't know, what would Trump do? Bring in the National Guard to work as air traffic controllers? I mean, I don't know if anyone can just step in and do that job. There's got to be some sort of training period. DBD5844 says, and no, TJ, I do not support communists. I was trying to explain what the true intent of communism is. The host wanted to paint it as sunshine and rainbows. Well, perhaps we should not promote that show. You need to promote the Trucker John show and not these fucking commie shows. I say that a bit tongue-in-cheek, DBD5844. I mean, it's tongue-in-cheek, although I agree with what I just said. MJ Daniel says, take only his jet. We confiscate all his properties and bank. Yeah, okay, yeah, right. Let him have the jet and all the fuel he needs to get there. But then we freeze his accounts and we take all of his money to try to at least get something out of the motherfucker. Yeah, take the jet, fuel it up. You can go live in Argentina all fucking the rest of your whatever miserable life you have left. Just get the fuck out. It's like a bad relationship. You're like, yeah, take the records, take the fucking DVDs. I don't give a fuck. Get the fuck out. At this point, take the couch. I love the couch. Take the couch and leave. That's how much I want you to leave. I'll even let you take my couch. That's where we're at. That's the stage where we're at with Trump. It's like, take the fucking jet. All right, you can take the fucking ballroom with you. I don't care. Okay, whatever, just get out. Just get out. Chris Doug says communism is a fantastical theory put forward in a pamphlet by German philosopher Karl Marx and his Communist Manifesto, published in 1848. There has never been a classless society of workers. Hey, look at this. We got now this. It says primitive Elcon, and I know that little profile picture, and I can't remember your real name. It says, "Hey TJ, hey chat, carving my pumpkin." Moi. If you want to put your real name in, like the name that you go by, let us know, because I know that's not. Because I know you. Wayne Golan says, well-regulated means taxed. Exact. Well, yeah, well-regulated means taxed, and it also means regulations. Like consumer protection regulations, and environmental regulations, and safe and healthy working condition regulations. But I include that also. But yes, taxed, of course. And they don't want that. They don't want to pay one fucking penny in taxes. You would think that you were removing limbs from their body if you're asking for one fucking cent of tax. But then they will think nothing of dropping a few $1 million to throw a birthday party, or to hop on a jet and have a party in fucking Paris or something. I mean, they'll just blow money out that way and not even bat an eyelash. But God forbid you ask for one fucking cent of tax, and you would think that you were gouging their eyes out. These people are sick. And meanwhile, us, the working class people, the working poor, the people that are just barely surviving, we get taxed up the ass. It needs to be the other way around. We need to be taxed less. They need to be taxed more. They can afford the fucking taxes. We can't. I'm not saying that we shouldn't pay anything, but I'm saying our taxes should be less on a percentage basis. Certainly. And maybe if you look at the tax rates, it does look like we are being taxed less. But they have all the loopholes, and they have all the fucking bullshit that they get out of. So they end up paying nothing. We need to fucking get rid of the loopholes, and we need to make sure that they all pay their fair share. Anywho, is Robert Perez here? Did I skip Robert? Didn't mean to skip you. If Robert is here. Oh, there's Robert Perez. Hello, Robert Perez from down San Diego way. Good to see you. Robert says, hello, big dog. Have fun tomorrow. Oh, you didn't say hi to me? Hello, Robert. Good to see you. So I'm mid-thread on my musical success. Apparently. I do see Jörgen Johansson is here. It says, in Sweden, we have high taxes comparing to you. We share the costs so everyone can educate, get health care, receive medicine, never costs more than $250 a year. See there? Would you pay $250 a year? People are paying. How much more are they paying? A lot of people are paying probably 10, 20, 30, 40 times that a year in America. And not even getting like, it's not always even that good, the healthcare. I mean, what you get. It isn't like you can just go in and get whatever you need. There's still like this whole thing. You got to get approved and everything. Thanks, Jorgen, for being here, by the way. Good to see Jorgen Johansson. Good to see you. Christina Sangosqua says, I'm wondering if the government shut down, then technically I don't know that you have to follow any of their fucking rules. Yeah, I mean, you could say, hey, look, you're not following the rules. Why the fuck should I follow the rules? Nick Rich says essential workers get paid eventually. That's the deal. Bob Perez says, yo, Trucker John and all the trucklers, have a great freaking day. Are you leaving? Did you leave, Bob? Victor Harshman says, I was a steward for 20 years. Collective bargaining is democracy. Absolutely. It goes to a vote. The members all vote on it. So many times you hear people say that unions are, I don't know, they say it's like communism or whatever. No, it's democracy in action. Everyone votes on their officers of their locals, and everyone votes for their national president and the secretary and all that shit, the vice president. It's all voted in. It's all democratic process. And then when they negotiate on your behalf for the CBA, and then everyone votes on that. And if it passes, then they sign it and go, okay, this is it until there's an end date until we, like 4 years from now, and then we will do another one. It's very democratic. Christina and Sun Go Squad says, well, depending on where he goes, he might have it worse than our prison system. So, yeah, maybe he should take a trip to Venezuela. I don't care where he goes. I just want him to go and never come back. Take J.D. Vance with you. Take Stephen Miller with you. Take Steve Bannon with you. Take Russell Vogt with you. Take fucking Homeman with you. Take Kristi Noem with you. Take all those scumbags with you. I don't give a fuck. Take them and never come back. They can go to some South American fucking place. Just never, ever come back. Catherine Real Hell Talk says, this is a large country, but France has protested. Poland has protested. It's possible, but we have to be on the same page. Well, that's the thing about the No Kings. We were able to get between 7 and 12 million people all on the same page. And it's not easy, but the No Kings organizers are showing how you do it. You get involved. You get out on. You use emails and you use social media and you get people involved. And this needs to grow. This we need to go from 12 million to 15 million, from 15 million to 18 million, from 18 million to 20 million, and so forth and so on. And I think we can do it. I think we can keep getting bigger and bigger crowds. MJ Daniel says, take only his jet. We confiscate. Oh, yeah, I already read that one. Yeah, absolutely. We'll take his properties for sure. to try to pay for some of the damage. I don't know if there's enough money to pay for the damage, all the damage, but yeah, absolutely. So here's my musical success journey. This seems mid-thread. I couldn't find where it started, but it says we wanted to know when I was going to get to the customer that I had a package for, and I said, I don't know. Depends on traffic, and he didn't like the answer. See, that's totally mid-thread, so I don't know anything about what that's about. Primitive icon, maybe is what that is. Primitive icon. Hey, TJ. Hey, chat. Yeah, primitive icon. I know you are like by some other name, and I don't know what it is, though. So if you want to tell us, unless you want to just be called primitive. Is that primitive icon? Am I reading it right? Because it looked like primitive elcon, and I'm like, then I finally figured that doesn't make any sense. It must be primitive icon. Chris Doug says the authoritarians in Soviet Union killed off, imprisoned all the Bolsheviks and took power by replacing the Russian royal family with party members. Classless society, my ass. Just watch The Death of Stalin, man. I always bring that movie up. I think it almost looks like satire, but it's actually, I think, it's the way it was as far as like Joseph Stalin and everyone around him were all just paranoid fucking weirdos, always afraid. It was, talk about like the emperor has no clothes. It was like that, but on steroids. And it was, so everyone had to kiss Lenin's ass. You had to always prove that you were loyal. That's the whole thing with Trump and people when they kiss his ass. It's disgusting. It's just so disgusting. Watch The Death of Stalin, and you see how people are trying to curry favor with Stalin. And like this one guy is he's part of the cabinet or whatever, and he's putting all these people on these no loyalty lists, and they just disappear them and they send them into prisons and gulags, or they kill them or whatever. And then he can show Stalin, look what I'm doing for you, oh great leader. Look what I'm doing. I'm finding all the unloyal people and we're putting them in prison. And he's doing that just so that he won't get put in prison. So it's a great movie. Go watch The Death of Stalin. I promote that movie almost all the time because I don't think anyone hardly saw that movie, and I think it's unfortunate. I think if you want to get an idea of what Stalin Russia was like, watch that movie. DPD 5844 says, I stand with you, TJ, loud and proud, stand by you. I won't let anyone hurt you. You all stand by you. Thank you, DPD 5844. I appreciate that. And I will stand with you. Mr. Spock, how's the roach problem? I saw one last night crawling on the floor. Was it yesterday? I don't know. I did see one crawling on the wall right over here. I tried to kill it. It ran it. It kind of hid in behind the blinds there. I tried to get it. It fell on this table right here. And I had to reach behind the TV. I tried to get it again. I don't think I ever got it. And it fell down somewhere. So I don't know if it's dead or alive. But I saw that one. Since the Great Spray of over a week ago now, what's been almost 10 days since the Great Spray, I think I've seen a total of maybe 4 cockroaches in 10 days. There's supposed to be another Great Spray on this coming Wednesday. I'm going to let them spray again. And then after that, I'm going to put out the combat traps that I bought. That was a suggestion from Fancy. So speaking of Fancy, I don't know if Fancy is listening, but just know, Fancy, all of our thoughts and prayers, our thoughts of positiveness and of healing are going out to Fancy. For those of you that don't know, I don't even know the details, but Fancy was in the hospital the other day. She's been released apparently today, and I hope Fancy's feeling better. And so we want to just send all of our positive thoughts to Fancy. But it was Fancy that kept telling me to get those combat traps. And I got them, but I'm going to wait until after they spray before I put them out. Anyhow. Oh yeah, Robin. Okay, I knew that. I knew it was you, Robin. I knew it all along. Yeah, Robin. Hello, Robin. YouTube's doing a thing with the ads. They're putting the ad thing out. So, Chris Doug says Joseph Stalin was not a communist. He was a pimp, male prostitute, pickpocket, gambler, bouncer, rapist, and contract murderer before rising in the party and seizing power. Go watch The Death of Stalin. It's a great movie. I think it's a great movie. David Dog says, Marsha J, my ex, even took my dog. She didn't want her. She gave her to a neighbor on her way out. I had to get the police to get my dog back. But at least it all worked out. You got your dog back. There should be a joke there. You got rid of the bitch and you still kept your dog or something. Something along those lines. Anyhow. Jorgen Johansson says shit 4-0. Is that some score? Are you watching a hockey game or something? I don't know. DBD5844 says, remember Jeff Bezos closed down Italy to throw him and his plastic bimbo a $56 million wedding. I remember that. I think I recall that. And ask Jeff Bezos to pay an extra $1 in tax and see what his response will be. He'll probably have a conniption fit. He'll probably literally shit his pants. Ask him to pay 1 penny more in taxes, and he will fucking have a meltdown. But he'll drop $56 million on his wedding, without batting an eyelash. Chris Doug says Trump keeps calling Democrats Marxists. This is laughable since he could not define the word even if he tried. Marxists don't make millions in insider stock trades like us Democrats do, apparently. Robin says, I'm asking my rep to draft a bill we all receive a permanent fund dividend from mining companies he's investing our treasury into. Yeah, give us a dividend. Just like the Alaskan people get from the oil companies. Give us a fucking dividend if you're going to fucking use our money to get rich off of or whatever, you know? We should all get a piece of it then. I agree, Robin. John Glad's here. Always glad to see John Glad. John Glad says, when we are all dead, they will be in their bunkers. Janet Bay says, so with the chopstick mic patent pending, you look like Gene Rayburn. Right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Match game, right? Yeah. I should paint my chopstick black. Maybe. I don't know. Good. That's a good pull there, Jen. A good pull from the old memory bank. So I used to watch Match Game all the time. Bob Perez says, give to Caesar what is Caesar's. Even Jesus says pay your fair share of taxes. You assholes. Yeah. They're just all fake Christians. They don't give a fuck. They just use Christianity as a way of trying to, get votes. They can't win on policy. They can only win on, trying to trick religious people into thinking that they're religious or whatever, you know what I mean? Christina Sun Go Squaw says, just to give you an idea, I made $4,600 last year in pension. The government wanted me to pay $1,000 in taxes. That's a huge percentage, right? Of your pension. That's a huge percentage. And what's the percentage Jeff Bezos is paying? probably much less of a percent on a percentage wise. Jolie says hi to Ivy Joe. There's Ivy Joe. Hello, Ivy Joe. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you. I don't know what's going on. I hope you feel better. 24 rounds again. I don't know what's going on there, but I hope the best for you. MJ Daniel says, I heard Tom Hartman talk about a German businessman he talked to, and he said much the same. He is fine with paying his taxes because it made his nation better all around. I've heard Tom Hartman tell that story quite often, and it's a good story. I mean, it's true. I mean, I guess Tom asked the guy, why, what do you feel about paying taxes, or are you upset about paying higher taxes? And the guy was like, no, because why would I want to live in a country that is poor, basically. Marcia Jones says, my mom still pays taxes on her pension. She's 90. I think we can blame or credit, however you want to look at it, Ronald Reagan for a lot of that shit, especially with paying taxes on your Social Security. Because you didn't used to have to do that until Reagan. So as far as Social Security, I don't know about private pensions, but as far as Social Security is concerned, that was tax-free because essentially that was already coming out of money that was taxed. Now they want you to, so it's like you're being double taxed the way I look at it. And who knows, if we had Kamala Harris win and we continued getting more and more Democrats in, and I know we've strong proponents of Social Security reform and improving it for the better are people like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. One is a Democratic socialist, and one is a self-described capitalist, and that is Warren calls herself a capitalist. Bernie calls himself a Democrat or socialist, or a social democrat, however he words it. They work together a lot, and they were helping get Social Security payments increased and getting COLAs increased. And I could very well see that if we had gone and continued on and not let this fucking Trump regime in, that we may have seen a day where our Social Security that tax would be repealed. I was hopeful of that. I'm not now. I'm just hoping that the program doesn't get completely scrapped at this point. Catherine Real Health Talk says Republicans surprised that Democratic Party is still not folding yet. Apparently, there is escalating a boat attacks in the Caribbean. Yeah, I think I saw something about that too. My music success journey says I say we skip paying income taxes for every week that they are not doing their job. That is the government. Yeah, I think so. I agree. Yorka Johansson says, Trucker John, when you have reached $250 for I don't know, receipted medicine, you get the rest of the year for free. Wow. Petrazi 20 is here. Hello, TJ and Chad. Hello, Petrazi. Good to see you, Petrazi. Nick Rich, 1 o'clock, so I'm 15 minutes behind. I am 15 minutes behind you. Christina and Son Ghost Squad says, I want him to take Marjorie Taylor Greene and that other Carolyn Levitt. And that, yeah. Yeah, I think there's plenty of room on the plane. Yeah, you can take a bunch of them. Marsha Jones says, hasn't MTG jumped ship? I still wouldn't trust her, and she can go too. You know, if they're leaving, might as well take her out too. Elizabeth Martinez is here. Hello, Elizabeth. Good to see you. Elizabeth says, wow, Social Security income for next year, 2026, will only be 2.8%. They got no shame. I don't know what you mean, 2.8%. Like that's how much they take out of your paycheck or something? I don't know. David Dog, Mr. Spock. Okay, you guys have a big conversation about the dog. I'm just kind of skipping that. You know, you guys, that's fine though. That's fine. Jorgen Johansson says no kings in world have anything to say about politic. They're just for PR, at least in Sweden. Yeah, I don't know about Sweden, but here we're trying to make a movement where we show, we can visually show, and with all the millions of people that are out there marching, that we are not happy with Trump and what he's doing. Just in case he thinks that we are happy, we are not happy, and we are letting him know that we are not happy, and that we want this shit to stop. We want his violating laws to stop. We want his violating of the Constitution to stop. Because almost everything he's doing is unconstitutional. Stop violating the Constitution. Oh, the 2.8% was the COLA. So, Damon Dog, yes, I saw that COLA will only be 2.8%. That's not much. So that's what you're talking about. Christina, when you guys write, you need to write it so that I understand what you're saying. Anyhow, Christina Weibel says 2.8% is the COLA raise. Duh. Okay, well, we need to write that. Chris Doug says, great movie, especially Steve Buscemi, laughed my ass off. Yeah, it was very funny. It was presented in a very kind of satirical way, but it was all true. I'm pretty sure that movie is pretty factual, even though it was funny and satirical, but it was true. I'm pretty sure. You could fact check that movie. I think it's all very, very true. The way they were on these loyalty lists and not loyalty and everything, you know, everyone paranoid that the mighty ruler, you know, did they please him enough to not, so they didn't end up dead or in a prison, in a gulag or something? Kristen Weibel says, I'm only getting $28 more a month in the COLA raise. For years, I've been living on less than $15,000 a year, and it's sickening. Still blue, though. No, I'm not sure what that means, the still blue, though. See, David, I'm thinking of dressing as Trump supporter for Halloween, but I can't figure out how to stick my head up my ass. We'll keep working on it. I mean, all you do is you make a costume that covers your head, and then you make where it looks like your body is twisting back around and into your ass. And then you just put two little eye holes so you don't run into shit. But you got to make it look like your back is bent and going around and back up into your ass. See? I figured it out. Man, I figured it out. Chris Doug says, Death of Stalin accurately portrayed the demise of Lavrentiy Beria. He was executed for legit reasons, rape, child molestation, and murder. Is that the guy, spoiler alert, guys, I'm doing a spoiler alert. Is that the guy that they fucking set on fire and burned him and put his ashes in a barrel? And I think the whole movie was accurate, actually. So, Victor Harshman says Kilmar Abrego Garcia could be deported to Liberia as soon as Halloween. See, this is disgusting. This is what No Kings is about. It's about us telling Donald Trump we think what he is doing is disgusting and illegal, and it needs to stop, or else we're going to keep rising up. And we are going to get the numbers, and we are going to do a general strike, and we are going to shut this whole fucking thing down. That's where No Kings needs to go with. We need to get to the point where we say, we will shut this country down if you don't stop what you're doing. Or looking at other Republicans and telling them, we will shut this country down if you don't get rid of this motherfucker. That's where No Kings needs to go. Because they keep asking, what's next? What's next? What's next? That's where we need to get to. I don't know if that's the next step, but that should be our end result, or where we get when we get the numbers, when we are getting 15 and 20 and 25 million and 30 million people. That's when we need to say, look, motherfuckers, we will shut this down. The air traffic controllers are going to all fucking quit. And the truck drivers are going to stop driving. And everyone's going to stop working. And we will shut this fucking country down unless you get this motherfucker out of office by any means necessary. I don't give a fuck. You get him out, or we will shut it down. That's where No Kings needs to go. So No Kings, if you're listening, you're wondering what's next, that's where we need to be. We need to demand that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and his whole administration is fucking kicked out. They're traitors. They are traitors to this country, and they should be treated as such. That's where No Kings needs to be. So if you're listening, the No Kings organization, that's where it is. That's where we need to go. Is Fancy in here? I see everyone saying hi to Fancy or something. Or is it just because I mentioned Fancy? I don't see Fancy in here. But yeah, I hope Fancy gets better. Maybe that was just a response because I was saying to send positive thoughts to Fancy. Just remember, guys, I'm 15 minutes behind you, so just remember that. Christina Weibel says, kind of echoing what I just said, though she said it 15 minutes ago, says Dinky has committed treason and he and his whole cabinet can be impeached for that reason. And I'm saying, No Kings. Where do we go next? This is where we go. Impeach the motherfucker and his whole cabinet for being traitors, for treason. Get them out. Get them the fuck out. I knew it was a soccer game you were talking about, Jurgen. Spain, Sweden 4-0. We call it soccer here in America, as it should be called. It's just black duct tape. Like I could wrap this in black duct tape. I'd rather paint it. Marshall Jones, 2 guarantees in life, death, and taxes. And I think some of these Republicans, I think they're trying to cheat both. I think they can cheat both. Christina Weibel says Jesus never wanted people to make him a religion. He wanted only his teachings to be followed. But in order to get his teachings out there, I think you kind of have to form a religion. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? But I get you. We don't need the fucking pomp and circumstance. We don't need the fucking Pope. And we don't need in the Protestant religions, we don't need pastors and priests and all that shit. But it kind of sets itself up, if you're going to follow the teachings of Christ, that there's someone that has to kind of get that message out there, and then that forms a religion, I guess. It's kind of a catch-22 in a way, I think. Jorgen Johansson says, be a Christian is easy. You don't have to take responsibility for anything in your life. You can always refer to Bible or blame God. Well, I don't know about that. I know that's, you know, a bit sarcastic, maybe. Belfast Bob says, yep, Jorgen, attend church Sunday, all previous weeks, horrible shit you done is forgiven, so Monday you start new week's horrible shit, rinse, repeat. Well, that's the way people misinterpret the Bible, I think. Jolie says the entire country could crash and burn and be nothing left but rubble, and MAGA still wouldn't admit they were wrong. I agree. But like I said, maybe a fraction of them would finally wake up. Maybe 10% of them, maybe 15% of them. I don't know. But I agree. Not 100% of them. There would still be those diehards. The diehards. They'd be like, it was Joe Biden. Joe Biden is going to die, and I hope not soon. You know, I like Joe Biden. I hope he lives many, many more years. But I'm just saying, you know, Joe Biden could be dead in his grave, and they would still blame Joe Biden, no matter what, you know. Karen Ames, Social Security increase at 2.8. Okay, I finally got that. It just wasn't written clearly. I'm the type of person I need the shit written out clearly. Belfast about murder. Okay, I don't know. I'm not reading that. I don't know. I don't even know what that means or what that's about. Karen Ames says, nobody tells Trump we aren't happy. That's why we need to make sure we come out 15, 20, 30 million strong, and we let him know that we're not happy. Victor Harshman says, I have a friend from England. He has nothing but praise for their universal health care, money for electric bills, house payments, and food for retired seniors. Nobody left behind. How is it that this awful country that was England, that we had to have a fucking bloody ass revolutionary war to break away from? How is it that they're so much fucking better than we are now? What the fuck, America? What the fuck, man? Jesus H. Christ. England is better than we are. That's how not that England is bad now, but I mean, I'm saying, like, we broke away from you guys and look at where we're at. You know? We've become the thing that we broke away from, I think, you know? Taxation without representation is what we're doing right now. Petrozzi says, if we don't stop Trump, America will be a snitch culture. If you don't agree, you'll be told on. Yeah, that's funny. And that's what that Death of Stalin, what they showed, that culture, that snitch culture. It was total snitch culture. If you watch the Death of Stalin, it's almost like I'm getting a piece of the royalties, but I'm not. I'm so thirsty right now. I'm out of coffee. I forgot to bring water. In fact, I did my shopping the other day and I forgot to get water. But I do have my Brita. I think I'm going to get some water. I'll be right back. And it is about almost time to end the show. But I'm going to just get some water real quick. So you guys talk amongst yourselves. Oh, I forgot. I still got everything packed away in different shelves here. Let's see. I gotta find my glass. Okay, guys, you guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm over here pouring myself a glass of water. It's taking so long because I packed all my cups and everything over in this other area because they were doing spraying. And they wanted all the cabinets to be cleared out for the spraying, and then I just left them that way because there's going to be another spray on next Wednesday. So I've pretty much left, although now I do have some things in the cabinet, but just a few things. Anyhow, here we are. Okay, I got some water. Cheers to water. Yeah. It's a good Brita water. All right, guys. So anyhow, Nick Rich, 4:20 Eastern Time. What time do I have? So I'm 11 minutes. 11 minutes. Chris Doug says Stalin died from a stroke. He had inconveniently for himself executed most of the top doctors, believing that they were conspiring to overthrow him. Yeah, see, that's the whole thing. The paranoia. That movie deals with all the paranoia and the snitch culture, all that shit. Jürgen Johansson, dictator is it you're talking about, not king. Well, that's true. I guess I don't know. In Sweden, they still have royal families and they have kings and stuff like that. In America, I think when we think of kings, we think of authoritarianism. We think of dictators. Maybe there's a good king in Sweden or something. I don't know, but I apologize. I don't know your guys' system that well. But here in America, when we think of a king, we think of just a king ruling with an iron fist and being an authoritarian who has the ultimate say. There's not like today where they have parliaments and all that kind of shit. We think of, I think, the old, Braveheart day when the king just ruled with an iron fist and whatever the king said went. And the king could say, like in Braveheart, okay, you guys just got married, I'm going to fuck your wife. And then no one could do anything about it, right? Think of Braveheart. That's at least when I'm thinking about the kings. I'm thinking about the Braveheart kings, that kind of shit. I don't know. Like I said, there's maybe kings in Sweden and shit like that. And maybe they're cool. Maybe they aren't authoritarians. Maybe they have something like a constitution that they have to, or they have whatever, it's not, they're not just whatever they say goes. That they do have a process. I don't know. I really don't know. I plead ignorance. But yeah, when in America, I think we think of the old Braveheart type of king that could just do whatever the fuck they wanted, and no one could do anything. Think of the Game of Thrones kings or whatever. Okay, so anyhow, guys, yeah, we should probably think about ending the show. We're at almost 2.5 hours. Catherine Hill Talk says, TJ, think about it. Shutting this country down is precisely what they might want. That gives them more malicious opportunity. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But what are we going to do? We're kind of like stuck. We're stuck in a hard place here. It's like we're damned if we do. We're damned if we don't. We got to do something. We got to have some kind of leverage. So, but yeah, Catherine, I know you might be right. I don't know, but we got to do something. There's something we got to do. What can we do? And I know we can hang on and hang on and hang on and try to vote. We've got a whole year to go, and I know time can go fast. And before you know it, I'll be sitting here, and it'll be 2026, and we'll be looking at the midterms. Before you know it, but just look at what Trump has already done just in these 10 months. First 10 months or so. And I'm not sure we're even going to get to 2026, November of 2026. So I don't know, man. It's all scary and it's iffy and sketchy. And we are really just, I think we're just living one day at a time, like really totally one day at a time, So I don't know. Barbara Nicholas says, watching last night's game, waiting for the first game of the World Series. Yeah, that's going to be coming on in just a few hours here. So, anyway, I'm just skipping on down. Jürgen Hossa says, I know, TJ, you call throwing a ball football. I know, it's weird. But I don't know how they came up with that back in whenever they started playing football here in America, in the early 1900s or late 1800s. I don't know why they called it football. I really don't. But it is what it is, and I'm sticking to it. Nick Rich, Dark Brandon is still cool. Starch Manning says Project 2025 defund all programs for the poor and working people of this country. I know, and they put it all out there. It was all out to see, and motherfuckers still voted for these motherfuckers. Edward Barber says the Sabbath is Saturday according to the scriptures, and it is a commandment. Do you people even know, I guess, word to word Sunday comes from? Or where the word Sunday comes from? I don't, and I don't care. But I mean, you know, now I'm kind of interested. Barbara Nicholas, and they still have a king. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm talking about England. I'm kind of skipping down. Guys, just to finish up. Chris Doug says socialized medicine and subsidies for the elderly and poor in the UK are a direct result of the sacrifices made by the British people during World War II. The empire fell, but the monarchy endured. David Dog, TJ read my mind. I'm reading your mind, man. Edward Barber says Trump surrounded himself with the most evilest and dumbest people in America and human history, and they're going to rape this country and leave it just like Trump did his Epstein victims. Yeah, they don't give a shit. As long as they think that their money will protect them, and no matter what happens to the country, they think they're so rich that they will always be protected. But there's a point. It could get so bad that their money won't protect them. So, with that, I will leave you with that. You know, I think that's where we're going to end the show. It's time to go. Guys. I'll be back tomorrow at right after Hal Sparks at about 11 a.m. on Saturday, and we can continue the conversation tomorrow. So I hope you guys will be here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the great fan support we got. I can go and look at it real quick for the fan funding we received today. Sandy Foltz, a $1 super chat. Thank you, Sandy Foltz. Yippee! My musical success journey, a $10 super chat. Yippee, going out to my musical success journey. Belfast Bob Voltaire, £2 super chat. Yippee to Belfast Bob. And Michael McAndrews, $5 super chat. Burp. Yippee to Michael McAndrews. Thank you guys so much for that. I do appreciate you for that. And I appreciate everyone who came in and said hi or said a comment, left a comment. Everyone who gave me the thumbs up or a thumbs down. Either way, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. We're up over 4,170 now. So every day it seems like we get a few more here, a few more there. The show is growing. Let's keep it that way. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. right after Hal Sparks. Only thing left to do now is the words of wisdom. So guys, get your pen out, your paper, and write this down. This is really what a lot of people just come in here for, is for the words of wisdom. So here it is. Okay, you guys ready? Here we go. So guys, just
well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hostile of Easter, baby, the show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid, but doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John Livestream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John Livestream. Yeah, the Trucker John Livestream, we're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream, this is where we win, right here on the Trucker John Livestream. No, this time to say goodbye, the show is coming in. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry, we're all gonna come back and meet again. Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep, broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, the movies and bugs, shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright, but now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. For free. So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise wish that you were young, but all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for us. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love, it's all about the thrills. It's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows, so go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road, just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret, it'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. So damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life, everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot, you're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.
Show's over. I'm out of here, folks. Bye.